Starting a conversation with girls is easy actually, and there's 3 simple ways to do it. I'm also gonna share with you a method that will allow you to keep a conversation going forever that my 15-year-old self would have killed to know. Starting with the first method to start a conversation that is proven to work time and time again. I'm at the club in Sweden when I see a girl from across the ways sitting at a table making eye contact with me. This is my cue that I have an in, so I walk over, I pull up a chair to the table she was sitting at with her 3 friends, and I introduce myself to her while making strong eye contact, smiling, and just saying simply, "Excuse me, what is your name?" And then we get to talking, I introduce myself to her friends pick up on the cue, and they leave, and they let us talk for some time, and we have an amazing conversation. The first method that is proven and tried by me tons and tons of times is just simply asking a girl her name. This will take you so far and is one of the simplest and most effective ways to start a conversation. This second method will allow you to get into an amazing conversation with someone so subtly that they won't even realize it happened. So I was in the sauna when a girl walks in with a David Goggins book, and as soon as she sits down, I ask her, "What are your thoughts on that book? How do you like it so far?" And we start talking about the book, we start talking about reading as a whole, we take a shift over to work and what we do, kind of our lifestyle, things like that. And we end up talking for the entire length of the sauna that we were in there, about like 20 minutes or so. And it was a great conversation, all because I just asked a question related to the environment. I picked up on a cue that she had a book, which I had read, so I asked her about that book. You didn't even have to have read the book. You can just ask her, "Oh, I've seen that book before. What do you think of it?" And you can talk about that. An environmental question relates to anything relating to a girl's thoughts or opinions within the environment. So a place that I love to use this is on the lines at the bars and clubs. So whoever's in front of me or behind me, I'll just ask them, "Have you ever been here before? What do you think of the place?" And then they'll start talking about that. And before you know it, we're having a long conversation about a bunch of different things, all just because I asked them about what they thought of the place that we're going to. It is so simple, and you can use this in various different ways, but it's basically just any question or statement that is related to the environment. It is that simple. With this next technique, you'll be able to talk to absolutely anyone, anywhere, at any time. So I was going down to my pool on the 7th floor, and there's normally just a bunch of old people there, but I finally saw a young girl about my age, so I was really excited. I was like, okay, cool, let me go talk to her. So I walk over and I say, "Excuse me, do you mind if I join you?" And then she says, "Sure," and we end up having a conversation for about 15, 20 minutes. It was really great. I got her info, and then she went off and did her thing. And it was just a really nice conversation, but it all started with, let's just call it like a polite interruption. She's doing her thing, she's tanning, and I came over and I said, "Do you mind if I join you?" And she said, "Sure," and then we got to talking using the other things as well, like an environmental question. I asked her if she lives here, I asked her name, and the conversation went on from there. So the method here is gonna be, we can call it like a polite or charming disruption of whatever this person's doing. This is really gonna work well for any sort of activities, whether someone's tanning, playing volleyball, pickleball, just doing something, whether it's by themselves or with a group, and you wanna kind of break into there, is gonna be the best way to do it. Coming across very polite, and your confidence is gonna be exuded in the way that you hold eye contact, that you smile, that you're comfortable in your body language, holding strong posture. And this polite, charming interruption, they're gonna absolutely love it. They're gonna welcome you in, and then you're gonna be breaking into this conversation with ease. And now that you did the hardest part, which is the intro, here's how you keep a conversation going forever. So this past fall, I was in Sweden and I had a date with a 27-year-old. I'm 22 and I knew I needed to make a great impression, and this one-on-one time is where my communicative strength was able to come in. So we had a great conversation. I was really just talking to her about herself, getting to know her on such a deep level, asking such highly intelligent, formed questions, really listening, asking great follow-up questions. And by the end of the date, she said that she felt like I was a 30-year-old. She felt like I connected with her on a way that no one else ever has. And she was just so surprised at the fact that I was 22 and able to connect with her on such a deep level and have such a great conversation that sometimes she's not even able to have with guys who are 30 years old. So what did I do that allowed me to have this great conversation? Well, it was just a bunch of simple things, starting off with really trying to make the conversation about them as much as possible. Of course, they're gonna ask you questions in return. There's the rule of reciprocity where if you ask someone a question, they're probably gonna ask it back, but you don't need to go on a whole tangent and tell them everything. You can keep your answer short and simple, and if they want to know more, they're gonna ask you the open-ended questions. But that's really what you should be doing, is you should be asking the questions and then following it up with open-ended questions, really listening to what they're saying, and then thinking of something intelligent to actually get to know them more based off what they just said. So that is the absolute basics, is, talk about them, just have genuine curiosity about them, really try and get to know them with asking those open-ended questions and diving deeper. Once you've established a baseline level of rapport, what you're gonna wanna do is really pay subtle attention to everything they say, their nonverbal communication, their micro expressions, their values and beliefs that they portray. And this is how you can tailor your communicative style to each person that you talk to. This is kind of advanced, and if you want my help with it, you need to book in a call, because it's gonna be hard for me to explain everything over just this one video and make it all make sense. But basically, when people are talking, they're gonna be reacting in a way to different things that you say and different topics you talk about. And if they're lighting up, you're gonna wanna expand on that topic. If they kind of don't really wanna talk about it, if their body language, in their face, it turns a little sour on a certain topic and they don't really wanna express themselves, then you need to move on to the next and not come back to that. And you're gonna understand more about how they feel about different subjects as a whole. And the more you get to knowing people and having kind of just like generalizations as a whole, like if I know someone reads and they're reading self-improvement books, there's so many things that I know about them, but like just tell me someone's favorite author and I can know so much about someone. But that's just a side note. And you're gonna have that times a million after you have so many conversations where someone loves to party, you know a little bit more about them, you know which way to take things. The little things they say, their beliefs, values, and opinions, you'll start picking up on. If they love traveling, if they love spending time with family, if they love nature, there's so many little things that you'll pick up on that you can direct conversations in and really start to know someone just based off the little subtle things that they say, and also mixing that in with their nonverbal communication, the way that they're acting, and just expressing themselves as a whole. You can look at micro expressions, so someone will leak out their emotions on their face for a second. They might have like a quick negative look, or they'll quickly get happy but then contain it. There's a lot of little things that you need to pay attention to if you really want to be a master communicator and do what I did on that date with the 27-year-old. Now, like I said, this is advanced, so you don't need to stress about it too much. The best way to get to this point is just have tons of conversations. Go on as many dates as possible. Try and learn to read people. Try and just talk to as many people as you can, and you'll start picking up on these things. This took me a long time to develop, but it is something that you can develop at a very quick rate if you're very intentional, you know what to look for, and you're intentionally trying to learn the skill of communication. You will develop it very quickly. But this came over a long time. I didn't know how important it was. I didn't know what to look at. It took me tons of books, tons of times talking to girls, having successes, mistakes, until I was able to figure this all out. But that is really how you're gonna be able to connect with people and develop rapport at a level that they've never seen before. And if you're someone who's younger and you're dating an older girl, she's gonna feel like you're the same age or even older, and she's gonna be blown away by how well you communicate, how well you've gotten to know her. And it's one of the most powerful things that you can do, is be an amazing communicator. And it goes so much further beyond just talking to the girl about herself, but that is an amazing start. If you do that, that's what I did back about 3 years ago when I was first getting started, was I just talked to girls about themselves. I kept it really basic, just having simple conversations, and I had plenty of success. But over time, I've wanted to develop the skill and take it much further, and I have, and that is exactly how. I've kind of given you a lot of bits and pieces that you'll hopefully be able to kind of put together to formulate the entire puzzle in your mind a little bit. But if you want my help to really take things to the next level, then you can always book in a coaching call with me, and I can help get you there. And now, if you want my free guide on how to have amazing conversations, going over the 3 intros, and also how to keep it going forever, giving you some of the open-ended questions to use, then that is gonna be linked down below. It is absolutely free. You can keep this for yourself. It's gonna be a PDF document, so if you ever wanna refer back to it before you go talk to a girl, you can review what you should say in case you forget. So if you want that, it's gonna be linked down below. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you got any value out of it. Have a great day, everyone.